It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake, Scott, Ben Anderson. Top three stories of the day. KSLSports.com is brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. Jake Hatch is sitting in for Christian today. Where do you want to start, Hatch?
Number one, Utah Mammoth have clinched wild card one, in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, they came out and got the victory last night, which was the most important aspect of it. But the Ducks also lost. The Kings ended up losing as well, and find themselves now locked into that wild card one spot. So even with a couple of games that they didn't play particularly well in, and even last night almost gave away the game in the third period, they'd given themselves enough breathing room to escape with the victory and now find themselves in a somewhat advantageous spot of not having to play the Colorado Avalanche in the opening round.
No, it looks like they're going to get Vegas, who has a 2-point advantage with one to go over the Edmonton Oilers. So also avoiding Edmonton would be a good thing. And I do think it'd be cool from a vibe standpoint to get the first playoff series here is going against Vegas. I think that'd be awesome.
Two teams that can travel very easily to one another, so I think we'd get some fans going both directions. Vegas has drawn a lot of attention by the National Hockey League because they are still relatively new and have the 2 appearances in the Stanley Cup Finals, including 1 championship. I think you're totally right. So tonight, if you want to see Vegas, which I'm a little skeptical if that's actually who you want to see.
Better them than Edmonton, no?
I don't know. Vegas has not lost since they fired their head coach. They're 6-game unbeaten streak.
6-0-1. John Tortorella.
So they have an overtime loss.
Yeah, Tortorella's got them rolling right now.
Yeah, they fired the guy and stepped in, and now they're winning at a very high level. Like, they might be the hottest team in hockey. I understand the fear of, you don't want to play McDavid. I totally understand that, but I'm not sure Vegas is some cakewalk that you're walking into.
I don't think any of it's a cakewalk.
So, Mitch Marner's a superstar. I don't know what to tell you. Vegas is going to be very good. Vegas is really invested in their team, and they have star talent, so... maybe if you think avoiding Edmonton, Edmonton hasn't exactly been world beaters this year either, and you just got over the hump with them. Neither here nor there. They are 2-1 against Vegas this season, are the Mammoth. And yes, if that's who you want to play, you want Vegas to pick up any point tonight. If they go to overtime, they clinch that spot. If they win, obviously they clinch that spot. Or if they lose, you need Edmonton to lose tomorrow night to face Vegas in the opening round.
How, forgive me, but is it 2-2, 1-1-1?
I don't know.
In the first round, is it 2-3-2?
You can certainly travel easily in hockey, so I'd imagine they'd go 2-2-1-1-1.
For the stay in for the road games, Ben, if I am Bill Armstrong or Chris Armstrong for that matter, I am keeping the team in Cedar City. So guys, we're staying in Cedar City. We're bringing a guy in. This is Spar's guy who lived down here for a while. He'll show us some things that we can do. We can hang out at the malt shop and all that. But you know what we're not going to be doing? All the Vegas stuff. That's the Golden Knights' home ice advantage, Ben. Is the lifestyle. So keep them in Cedar City. Not even St. George. That's too upbeat.
The NHL opening round is 2-2-1-1-1.
So there you go.
According to the overview.
The bus ride from Cedar, a little long, but not bad. Well, they'll throw on the Mighty Ducks or something. You'll be fired up by the time you get to the ice.
No planes, no extra time in Las Vegas.
No, none.
Okay.
0. Boring.
Why couldn't they just go stay in Pahrump or something like that?
I don't even know what Pahrump is.
Yeah.
It's that town that's on I-15 as you head towards California.
Oh, okay.
Is
that where Wild Bill's is or whatever?
Yeah.
See, even that's too much.
Wild.
Too much, okay.
Too much.
We're going to lose Logan Cooley.
You got to get out of the state of Nevada altogether.
Okay.
And
Littlefield, Arizona.
Whatever.
With that first town right out of the Arizona Strip.
I'd go Cedar, but wherever. Not Vegas. No, that's exciting. I hope they get Vegas just for like I said, the vibes alone.
It's going to be great. And you know what? Media members want to go there. There's a lot of excitement about being in Las Vegas. Absolutely right. I think this is a cool matchup. This is a more exciting matchup than playing Edmonton, even though McDavid's going to draw a lot of eyeballs. Yeah, Vegas is cool.
I think the first taste of Stanley Cup playoffs in this market is going to be a big deal. Win or lose, I think it's going to be memorable and a big deal. And I think Vegas would be appropriate. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
Number 2, the NBA play-in tournament gives us 2 good games last night.
Do you think that there are a lot of Vegas hockey fans in Utah? Sorry, quickly.
I do think there are some, yeah.
So I wonder how that impacts everything.
One of my neighbors is.
Okay. Yeah, I think there are fans. I think
they were just hockey fans, and Vegas got it before Salt Lake did, and so they jumped on.
And then they were good, so it's easy to stay loyal to that team.
Our good friend Brian Brown, remember Brown Bear? He's a Vegas fan.
Yeah, love Big Brown Bear. Still say him every once in a while.
Lame name.
Brown Bear?
No.
Or the Golden Knights?
Lame name.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's because their owner went to Army and wanted to adopt. He wanted to go with like the Black Knights, and Army's like, no. And they actually tried to sue them over the Golden Knights moniker too.
2 good games last night. Miami loses to Charlotte. Some real controversy there. We'll start quickly, though. Portland goes on the road and beats Phoenix. There are some big impact. We talked about this yesterday on the show. Portland, because they beat Phoenix, has to give their first-round pick to the Chicago Bulls, which is still going to be like the 16th pick, 15th pick. So, credit Portland for not caring about that and just going out and winning. And they did go out, and they had to come back. A guy who you and I both have loved for a long time, didn't really understand why he was so easily available, is Denny Avdia, and he was incredible. 41 points last night. Hits the game winner over Phoenix,
15 of 22.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Just a surgeon.
They had no idea. They had no answer for him. And again, we were talking about Matt Ishbia, and Matt Ishbia says, our team doesn't tank. We're never going to tank. Until you find yourself here every year and you realize there's no way to get better.
We're going nowhere.
You've got to lose to get good draft picks. So you're going to either trade Devin Booker or you're going to fall to the bottom with Devin Booker.
They don't have draft picks.
Correct. They've also mortgaged their entire future to get Bradley Beal.
Again, why it was really easy for him to say we don't tank.
Yeah.
Because we don't have draft picks.
Why would you? So Phoenix might be entering a holding pattern. In fact, they're probably already there. But good for Portland. That was a very cool victory. And then last night, Charlotte beats Miami. LaMelo Ball in the first half, quite egregiously, as Bam Adebayo is falling out of bounds, grabs Bam's ankle and pulls it out from under him, and Bam lands on his tailbone and is ruled out for the rest of the game early in the game. Like, he misses at least 3/4 of this basketball game, and they lose a 1-point overtime game. That's going to bring a lot of scrutiny, and certainly Eric Spoelstra was very mad about it after the game. LaMelo said he apologized, but the NBA is going to look into this. I suspect he gets fined. I don't think they would suspend LaMelo. For their next play-in game, they've got to play the loser of Orlando and Philly, but I don't know. The league can't really let you just go out there and purposely pull down the opposing team's best player to get injured and win an overtime game or win a 1-point game, especially one that LaMelo also almost threw away and then hit the game-winning layup.
This 1,000% is the reason the Utah Jazz should re-sign Kelly Olynyk. Because the Clinic learned this lesson. You don't obviously hurt the other team's best player. You have to be more subtle about it, or it's going to make national headlines.
And maybe don't target, like, the best player. Kelly Olynyk did not dislocate LeBron's shoulder.
No, but he took a lot of heat. And then became much more subtle about it. I mean, his time with the Jazz, he made a dirty play on pretty much every play, but it was much more subtle than just going right at Kevin Love. You know what I mean? Like LaMelo, if you're going to be the dirty guy on the team, you got to be more subtle than that, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, we make jokes about that. You shouldn't go out trying to hurt. Not a subtle hurt, but like injure other players. That's bad news.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't know. LaMelo's lost a lot in his career. Maybe he's dying to win.
I think they might still lose this next game. They did not look very good. Konkanippel was truly unplayable. They benched him for most of the fourth quarter and all of overtime. Now, good for Charles Lee for not just saying, like, you're one of our good guys, and I guess I just have to play you because we think you're one of our better players. That's what a coach is out there to do. He's supposed to make decisions on what he thinks is going to allow them to win the game, and they did win the game, though. LaMelo, again, committed a bad turnover late and then fouled Tyler Hero on a 3 to give Tyler Hero 3 free throws, which allowed Miami to take a 1-point lead. He then made it up by going and making the layup. I don't love watching LaMelo play.
He took 31 shots.
Yeah, it was egregious.
31 shots.
Yeah, and then almost had the game-losing turnover and foul in 5 seconds.
It's back to LaMelo time in Charlotte.
Yeah, it is. It's not going to be.
We'll see how that goes.
It's not going to be winning basketball.
Now, Ben, did you apparently Amazon had some issues with the Charlotte game?
Yeah, this was late. I believe it was regulation. I don't think it was overtime yet. It was late in regulation.
It was late in regulation. Oh, no, it was overtime. I'm pretty sure there were like 2 minutes it cut out.
Yeah, it just cut out.
Have you seen the
went to technical
explanation?
No.
Because I really like this.
Okay, I didn't hear this.
Okay, I'll just read from the report. Let's see here. Amazon Prime said the technical difficulty during its stream of the Hornets Heat play-in tournament game was created by, quote, a hardware failure in our production truck, unquote, on Thursday night. Somebody tripped over a cord?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what that is, a hardware failure?
Hardware is...
Don't flip that switch, Larry. What are you doing?
Yeah, hardware is seemingly scary.
Failure.
What did you swap out? It wasn't just somebody's laptop that was hooked up to the streaming. Hardware sounds a little scary. That's your satellite go out?
No,
what happened?
Somebody went out for coffee and tripped over a cable. That's exactly what I would love to know. What that hardware failure, where everything just goes dark or something because somebody flips the wrong light switch. Or you've seen those trucks.
Absolutely.
There's stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Bob?
Yeah, somebody's wheeling in snacks for the next day, and the dolly just trips the cord. Yeah. Uh-oh. What happened? We don't know.
No, because if it was a satellite or something, they would have said that. Or if it were something serious, like, hardware failure.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gotten it back on so easily. Who hired the intern that did this? It's like the guy that sent out the nuclear attack is imminent text in Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
Missile inbound.
Yeah, incoming.
Right.
Excuse me?
To everybody?
What?
The entire state of Hawaii. What?
We're not very big. This could wipe us
Mom,
out.
what are you doing? You hit send on that?
Hardware issue.
Hardware issue in the truck. Oh, I'd love to know.
Hopefully it comes
Don't we know a guy that does Amazon? We could actually.
We actually know that guy.
We know that guy. We could find out really what it was.
Have to have some people send some texts.
That's funny.
That was Trav. Trav runs that. He's
Amazon.
He's Amazon's truck guy because he's one of the best in the biz here.
So he was the one screaming at the intern that tripped over the cable.
Yeah, what happened?
I want to know.
I know some people who know Trav pretty well. I've got his number. I could text him.
I pseudo worked for him for a while.
Right.
All right. Stay tuned. Oh, what's next? Stay tuned.
Well, stay tuned. Number 3, Diana Rossini has resigned her position with The Athletic and the New York Times.
She was seen with Vrabel at an adults only, which I don't even know what that is. What's an adults only hotel? I honestly don't know what that is.
It's a resort that just doesn't cater to kids, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the pool. Now, the photos that was it Page 6 was the Post who released it.
Yeah. That bought it actually, but yeah.
Show
because somebody sold
Rossini and Vrabel, again the Patriots head coach. Looks like at one point, like if you just look at the photos, looks like they're holding hands. They're in swimwear. They're laying by the pool together. More photos have since come out that do show them with a group of people. Like they were clearly there with a bunch of people. Neither of their spouses were there, which is a part of the issue here, is that both of these two are married, and the photos that were released by the Post, at least at initial viewing, made it look like they were there alone. They were clearly not there alone. Now, that doesn't mean people don't cheat on their spouses or have romantic relationships in front of other people. We don't know exactly what this is, though both Rossini and Vrabel have denied that they are in a extramarital relationship.
Well, we know.
I honestly don't.
But listen, the recent developments of the story is you have not. So after the photos came out and it was controversial, The Athletic, obviously receiving some sort of explanation that you just laid out from, I was on a girls' trip, and The Athletic came out and said, we defend Diana with all our might.
Yeah. With
all the might of the New York Times. We defend our reporter and her integrity. And then something changed, Ben. Something changed. And The Athletic said, we are now looking into this matter that we are currently taking very seriously. And then something changed again, and Diana said, "You know what? I know my contract's up in June anyway. How about I just leave now?
Yeah, let's back out.
I'll
now.
just and by the way, in her statement, also blaming the constant coverage of this story. How could I possibly go on? Which is funny to me. Like, you're blaming people for noticing. Congratulations, but also." Ben, there were reports out there that the staff at the New York Times was super grumpy. They were like, "Why aren't you?"
Yeah, for sure.
Why aren't you doing something?
By
Like,
the
your
way,
reporter.
Newsrooms love to pick on one another.
Well, your reporter is compromising her ethics, and why aren't you doing anything about it? And then I'm sure Diana didn't really have a great explanation for it. If it were truly innocent and a girl's trip, if it were truly that. She would not be stepping down. You know what she would do? She would go, "You know how I can show you I was on a girl's trip? Because look at all these photos. I've got of me and my gal pals chilling. We're doing the Arizona. We're doing the Sedona, Arizona thing.
A person I know, which, by the way,
but it was really Lorraine's bachelor party. Look at her taking a shot out of a baby bottle.
Right. I've been to Vegas for Summer League. You've been to Vegas for Summer League.
That's more of a baby shower thing. But yeah.
You run into people, right? If you were to photograph me standing behind Jeff Van Gundy at the casino,
I hung out with Roy Williams.
I guess you could be like, "Wow, Ben and Van Gundy were playing the slots." It was like, no, I was buying a chocolate croissant at the casino.
Yeah.
And Van Gundy was.
Here's a picture of me going to bed alone in my room.
But yes, you could see a million other photos of me walking the strip like a lonely loser. I don't know anyone here.
The other thing is their management team, when they put out the statement, also said that they had put somebody on the staff in charge of looking at her reporting, like previously.
Yeah.
So that's another part of this.
She was defending her reporting, which is ultimately the story. And I don't know if you saw it. Did you see Colin Cowherd's reaction, but his analysis on it? He basically said that Diana was not or in the wrong ethically and morally, whereas Vrabel was just morally wrong, not ethically. And I did not like that response one bit. Now, it's going to play out that way because Vrabel isn't going to get fired. And Diana basically got fired yesterday. So I think that's unfortunate. But listen, I think Diana creates more problems for female journalists in this space that already have it hard enough as it is, because this discredits, the next breaking news reporter when everybody looks at that reporter and goes, "Oh, how'd you get your story?"
Yes,
and
exactly
does her a huge disservice. So I am not letting Diana off the hook in the slightest. This is her job, and she knows better. But I think Mike also ethically is on the hook.
100%.
Ethically and morally.
100%.
Because they work together in a sense. They don't have the same employer, but they work together. And there are ethical standards for interacting with people that you work with. Diana should be able to expect to go do her job without having somebody come on to her.
Sure. If that's what happened. If we think that's what happened. We don't know that that's what happened.
Right. But either way has an ethical and moral lines crossed for both parties, in my opinion. He's trying to control stories. You know what I mean?
If Diana Rossini ran into Vrabel randomly at a pool, and we can say, and that's very possible that happened. I don't know where these people, what circles they run in, et cetera. I have no idea, truthfully. What you can't do then is lay next to him by the pool in the water. You know what I mean? Like, you have to make sure, because that photo can't come out of you.
I honestly don't care about the photo. I care about the act. You could talk to him how not to get busted next time, but like, the relationship in and of itself is wholly inappropriate.
Well, we don't know what the
both
relationship
people.
is. That's the problem. We don't know what this relationship is. That's the issue. So if we don't know what the relationship is, and let's say maybe they have a familiar friend, maybe they were at a wedding of somebody. I don't know what the story is.
She's not stepping down. Then you could just say, "Hey, Athletic, look into this," and then they come out with reporting that says she was actually at a wedding, and then it goes away. She's not stepping down.
Nobody has done that. None of that has come out.
And we were talking yesterday. That was probably off the air, about how much it drives me crazy that like people in this sphere after something like this happens goes, "Oh, I knew it all along. We all knew it. We all knew it." There's a zillion of the "we all knew it's" about Diana Rossini and
Vrabel.
And not just Vrabel, but other coaches.
Well, and she's, been running down her husband on air for a long time.
All
it sounds like everyone takes that stuff up, but neither here nor there.
So I don't know. You could say, well, maybe it's the best case scenario for her, but I would say then she'd still be working for The Athletic through the end of June at very least.
I wish we didn't hold her to the standard that we don't hold guys to. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I do think what she did was wrong. Now, I'm not saying morally or anything, but clearly how she handled this was going to put all of her reporting into question going forward.
Then if you were sleeping with your subject, it would be the same
absolutely.
violation. This is not a held to different standard. You would be held to the exact same standard.
No, I don't think that's true at all.
I absolutely do.
And here's the thing. We don't know that they're sleeping together. That's the thing. That's
I know
the
you
issue.
want to
We
defend
don't.
her, but we kind of do.
No, we absolutely do not. And here's the thing. If you were, to photograph me with Jeff Van Gundy in Vegas, standing next to him and just saying, like, well, we think this looks like one thing and it's not.
You know what you do?
Guys don't get held to that standard.
You would run to the snap talk and you would say, no, dude, I was just standing
That's exactly
next to
what she just said, though. That's
Van
exactly
Gundy.
what Rossini
And
said, though.
kind of with a denial, but where's like, hey, here's the explanation or here's the pictures
She
or
said
whatever.
there's a group
like,
of us with 6 different people. She has said all these things you're asking her to say. And if a guy says it, and by the way, guys violate this rule all the time with other guys. Now, that doesn't mean they're in bed together, but guys violate that rule. I mean,
they should be held accountable too. I don't
Woj's
think
entire
this,
career is based on this stuff.
I don't
right?
think this is a sexism thing. I don't know who Woj was sleeping with.
Shams' entire thing is trading favors for people, right? Like, that's how they get all of this stuff done.
What kind of favors is what we're talking about? Is the whole
that's
problem.
We don't have any idea what Rossini is doing here. We have no idea.
We're not saying, oh, I'll break this news for you, but you got to give me the next breaking news that this happens, which happens in the business all the time. No, that's not even the conversation we're having. But it's not even the same.
Because we don't actually know what this relationship is. And if it is revealed that they have a romantic relationship or they're together, whatever, yeah, absolutely, it's a huge violation. No question about it. I guess I'm not ready to say she's guilty before we know. I have no idea because they were photographed together.
No, it's not because it's because of all the other things that we laid out. It's not just pictures.
What is it?
She's currently not working for The Athletic. The Athletic did an investigation that did not clear her, clearly did not clear her, and she's no longer employed.
Well, and again, to be fair, she did step down on her own accord. At least that's the report. I mean, that was her release. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe The Athletic pushed her out. But I do think this is a problem that we are targeting a woman here in a sense.
My whole point was I'm targeting the coach too. I think he
should be.
I think he totally committed an ethical and moral
100%.
no. You know, I think Colin Cowherd letting him off the hook by saying, "Oh, it's just a moral one. He just cheated on his wife," I think is not the case.
I'm totally with you.
Not the case at all. And fireable. And by the way, we have seen coaches fired for affairs. See Udoka. In Boston. That's exactly why he got fired.
Well, he got fired for harassment, not just for an affair. That was different.
But it was
for the harassment. It was not for the affair.
I mean, he's obviously harassing Diana.
Well, Ime Udoka is not the only person having an affair.
No, I know,
NBA.
but the point is that it's happened before. Don't tell me like, oh, we can't fire him for having an affair. Sure, you can.
No, of course they can.
And
Yeah,
especially in
100%
these
you can.
circumstances.
But they
and
just
by
went
the way,
to the Super Bowl, so he's not going to get fired.
To all these coaches and all these players, stop being lazy. Go if you're going to have an affair. There's plenty of people down the road that have nothing to do with your atmosphere that I'm sure
100%.
could have total access to. Leave the people in your sphere alone.
This goes back to your Nick Saban report, which is exactly right. That he says, if I were going to cheat on my wife, I have to do it with Hillary Clinton. Because I have to do it with somebody who has just as much to lose as I do. And this is the problem here. Vrabel is never going to be held accountable for this at all. Unless he's found leaking stuff to Rossini that, is bad about the organization, is bad about Bob Kraft or whatever, the injury reports or something like that. If that's not what he's doing, then he's never going to be held responsible for it. But Rossini will be held to a higher standard for sure. No question about it.
But she's also the reporter, and she no doubt committed an ethical violation.
Yes, she did. You can't be photographed that way. End of story. You can't
have that
way.
kind of relationship. I can't believe you believe her. It's crazy.
I have no idea.
Stay tuned.
We have no idea.
More next. Mike Smith at the top of the 11 o'clock hour, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.